So my name is Per von Menzer, and I'm the CEO of PharmNovo, a clinical stage drug development company. Our vision is to improve people's quality of life through innovative, sustainable and effective pain relief medicines. And I'm very proud to be able to present our company and our lead candidate, PN6047, a phase 2 ready drug for neuropathic pain and other chronic pain states with first-in-class potential. As introduction, in short, we develop novel drugs for neuropathic pain treatment. We have a team with extensive drug development experience, and our lead candidate is having blockbuster potential in neuropathic pain. We do have patent protection in all major markets until 2041. We are now targeting, after the completed phase 1 study, to move ahead into a phase 2A proof of concept study in neuropathic pain by the end of 2025. Last year, PharmNovo was awarded the full blended financing from EIC, and that includes a 2.5 million grant and an equity promise of 15 million euros, which was a great validation. And right now we are raising funds in a Series A to finance the phase 2A proof of concept study. Now, there is a huge unmet medical need for patients suffering from neuropathic pain. And neuropathic pain usually ruins these people's lives, both physically, socially, and many times even financially. It affects up to 10% of the adult population worldwide sometime in their lives. And unfortunately, current treatments such as anti-epileptics and antidepressants are usually poorly effective, helpful in some patients, but also associated very often with severe side effects. The market is growing significantly. It's expected to reach $8 billion in 2027 and double in the next 10 years. So what is our solution? Our solution, PN6047, is a very selective Delta Opioid Receptor Agonist. And some of you might be scared about hearing the word opioid, but let me explain. PN6047 is very selective on the delta receptor, which is one of the 3 opioid receptors. It basically doesn't touch the mu receptor, which is usually mainly affected by conventional opioids. The effect of that is that we have fantastic chronic pain relief and neuropathic pain relief specifically, without any of the side effects associated with conventional opioids. In addition to that, when hitting the receptor and activating it, we are predominantly signaling through the G protein pathway, which is called biased signaling. And that also creates a unique situation where we avoid tolerance buildup and some other unwanted side effects. So the combination of selectivity and biased signal is the uniqueness of PN6047. Just a few data points. In the preclinical testing, we have a very effective pain relief in low milligram doses per kilo in animal models. And we do see that in this sciatic nerve ligation model, which actually test the symptom of allodynia, which is a hypersensitivity pain, we are hugely effective. We have safety and tolerability in all animal testing, also up in very high dosages. And we passed through the phase 1, showing that PN6047 is safe and tolerable in humans at exposure levels we expect to be effective. I'll come back to that. Beyond neuropathic pain, PN6047 also show great promise in other indications. This is just a few graphs from a large program we've been running in the US, sponsored by the National Institute of Drug Abuse, where we have been over a 2-year program testing PN6047 to treat opioid withdrawal syndrome. And the two main problems when you're trying to withdraw either from having been treated for diseases or having been abusing opioids is that you get severe pain, which we can see here, the hyperalgesia. So the blue line there shows the very high pain experienced after withdrawing morphine. And we very effectively then, with PN6047, reduce that almost down to control in both these two different pain models. So this is a very promising indication for us, and NIDA has already last year expressed interest in possibly funding clinical trials for PN6047 in OVS. We also have very promising testing results in chronic cough, where we also have made comparable studies with some compounds from AstraZeneca that also were investigating this opportunity in the past. Coming back to the phase 1, which was completed last year, we here have a diagram and a graph, the blue line, showing the average exposure in 6 subjects in the last cohort, the MAD4 cohort, where we were dosing 240 milligrams 3 times daily. Fully safe and tolerable at this level. And we can see here that the top red line, the dotted line, is showing then the exposure at trough and steady state, which is then 157 nanomolar and free fraction of 30. We compare that with the lower line, which is actually the exposure level in rats at maximum efficacy. You remember the SNL pain model we showed earlier. And we can conclude that we do have a huge therapeutic window, 30 times, when we are moving ahead into phase 2A. So what is our strategy then? Yeah, it is to now move forward based on the current fundraising in Series A, but also in an upcoming Series B, to move into phase 2A, proof of concept first in neuropathic pain, but then following that we will also move into second indications. And that's why we are raising funds now in 2 steps. And I will come back to that in the next slide. Following a successful proof of concept in at least 1 indication, of course, the target is to partner with pharma and find either an out-licensing agreement or move ahead into a trade sale. So pharma to take over for further development and commercialization. We expect that to be possible in the second half of 2027. So it's a relatively short timeline to potential exit. At that point in time with proof of concept, we believe that there will be a huge interest. We are having quite advanced dialogues already with a few pharma companies that are in the space. And we estimate that a potential total exit deal value will be in excess of 1 billion euros, which I will come back to and just substantiate very briefly. Just a bit more detail on our fundraising, in case there are any keen investors in the audience. As I said, the Series A is there to finance the first study, proof of concept in neuropathic pain, which might actually lead to a partnering opportunity in 2027 already. We are then, beginning of next year, targeting to raise additional funding to finance front-loading activities that will actually build up the value of the company for a pharma taker, but also 1 or possibly 2 other indications to be started. Recent deals in the space over the last 5 years certainly validate the exit deal potential. one example only, Eli Lilly's acquisition of Disarm Therapeutics in 2020 for $1.4 billion US dollars, and that was a phase 1 asset. We do believe also that the interest for CNS and pain is increasing in general at the moment. We hear that from several pharma companies. I just want to mention by the end of the presentation, our team, we have built it up significantly over the last years. Of course, targeting and focusing the competence in the clinical development area, as well as the regulatory side. All people in our team in lead roles have 20 to 30 years experience from pharma companies such as Astra, Lundbeck, Novo Nordisk and Leo. And altogether, we actually collectively have more than 300 years experience of drug development in our team. So to summarize, we think that PharmNovo and PN6047 is a very interesting investment opportunity. EIC, backed by EIB, validated us as one of the top startup companies in Europe. I mentioned the team, which has strong proven track record. Our asset has been significantly de-risked, and it is a very differentiated asset in a huge unmet medical need area. And we have potential not only in one indication, but actually in several high-value indications. So being ready to move ahead into phase 2A in a blockbuster indication with additional potentials, we now seek funds, 12 million euros to start with in a Series A. And we should remember the relatively short time horizon to potential exit and the exit potential deal value. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for attending.